Imagine growing up in 1970s Britain, a time of sexual revolution, rebellion against old Puritan rules, yet seeing the chaos and harm that came with total freedom. A young Englishman, raised in a modernist, Christian-influenced world, sees something deeply wrong in how his society and religion treated one of the most fundamental parts of being human, sexuality and family life. Today, we dive into the powerful testimony of Dr. Timothy Winter, better known as Shaykh Abdal Hakim Murad, one of Britain's leading Islamic scholars. He didn't have a sudden conversion. His journey involved deep thinking about human nature, Christianity's approach to the body, and ultimately finding harmony in Islam. Let's explore the problem he identified and the solution he discovered. In the 1950s and earlier, England had a strong sense of shame around sexuality, what Timothy Winter calls dusty Puritanism. Sexuality was heavily problematized. Then came the 1960s sexual revolution, a massive rebellion against repression. People wanted freedom. But by the 1970s, the downsides became clear. Free love experiments, cults in California, and harm especially to women. There were no healthy boundaries. I suppose this also is something which is important to people who come out of the 1960s and the 1970s, when the traditional kind of dusty Puritanism was the main thing that people were rebelling against. By the 1970s, it had become clear that there needed to be some kind of boundaries, regulation, otherwise people were going to get hurt, especially women. Winter observed that humans are biological beings, designed for family, reproduction, and awe around the creation of life. Ancient art from 40,000 years ago shows fertility symbols. This drive is natural and powerful. Suppressing it entirely causes problems later, even contributing to scandals in some institutions. Winter's critique wasn't anti-Christian, but came from honest observation during his spiritual search. He saw certain Christian traditions creating tension with human nature. It struck me that the type of religion, not just Christianity, that problematizes that sexuality, that emphasizes, for instance, unclerical celibacy, that associates eros with some primordial fault in creation, the idea that reproduction is a consequence of original sin. Struck me that quite a bit of damage could be done to human beings by problematizing something which is the most fundamental drive that we have. He noted that while the Reformation allowed priests to marry, the medieval and traditional attitude often treated sex as a necessary concession to fallen human nature, rather than something inherently good and sacred. This created inner conflict in a world where the sexual instinct is powerful and will eventually express itself, sometimes in unhealthy ways. After studying and reflecting deeply, Winter found that many religious traditions, Judaism, Hinduism, and especially Islam, offer a far healthier, positive view. Most religions, not just Islam, but Judaism, many schools of Hinduism and so forth, actually have a very positive sense of sacred sexuality. The leading thinkers produced pillow books, and that natural process is regarded as something sacred rather than a consequence of the loss of the sacred. In Islam, sexuality within marriage is celebrated and sacralized. It aligns with natural human drives without repression or shame. Family life is honored. There is no concept of original sin tainting the body or reproduction. Sex is seen as a gift, a foretaste of paradise when practiced within its proper boundaries. This resonated deeply with Winter in the 1970s. It offered balance, freedom with purpose, desire with dignity, biology with spirituality. This positive vision was one important piece among many. Combined with Islam's pure monotheism, honor for Jesus and Mary, and continuity with Abrahamic faith, it led to a gradual, thoughtful embrace of Islam. not as a rupture from his English roots, but as a fulfillment and strengthening of them. Timothy Winter's journey challenges us to think deeply. How do our beliefs align with human nature? Can faith celebrate the body while guiding it? Islam offered him a coherent, life-affirming answer. What do you think? Have you seen similar tensions in modern discussions of faith and sexuality? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you found this insightful, like, subscribe and share. For more on meaningful conversions and spiritual journeys, hit the bell.